Hey everybody, how's it going? So COVID-19, everybody's inside, or at least you should be inside unless you're one of those people deemed essential. Let me apologize up front. I have congested very badly, so I'm very plugged up, hard to breathe. Don't worry, it's just in my nose, not in my lungs, just fine. But anyway, I thought that I would put some content on to ease the boredom. Um, I don't really have a plan for it or an overall unifying thread. Thought that I would just fly by the seat of my pants and kind of just discuss random things, see how it goes, and maybe alleviate some boredom on the way. This is around day 16, 17 of being inside. Um, I've got to be careful. I can't go too far into it because of HIPAA, if you know what that is, and really it just doesn't need to be known. But there's a person who lives with me who's, if he got this, it would be a very bad deal. So, got to be very careful. I've only gone out into the real world a couple times for supplies, and I was there last Friday, and it was crazy, crazy. Especially nobody keeping the 6 foot social distancing really bothered me. Went to both Walmart and Sam's Club in Grand Island, Nebraska. Everybody's just right up on everybody's ass, like nothing's going on. Just and even in places that have the tape marks for how far they want us to all be apart and everything, everybody's just ignoring it. And I'm like judo chopping and I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I do not want this. And people are looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, oh, think a pandemic's going on or something. So, yeah, just craziness out there. Never would have ever thought that I would see something like this. But uh, here it is. And it's fucking crazy. So, one thing that I did want to touch on in this first video, just to get the ball rolling, Tiger King on Netflix. If you have not seen this, you must go watch it right now. I might let a spoiler or two out while I'm talking about it, so if you do want to see it really bad, stop, revisit the video another time. But man, Tiger King, as someone who grew up loving uh, Geraldo Rivera and, of course, Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. Uh, this show was so far up my alley. And when I was watching the first episode, I had to sit there and go Google it to see, because they say it's a documentary and a true story. And I was like, oh, this can't be true. And so I had to hit the Googs to verify that these were real people. And oh my God, some of the most messed up and interesting and just weird people. Uh, it's it's interesting how wildly different we all are sometimes. And Joe, man, what can you say about Joe Exotic? I love that one part. Joe, do you think the country's ready for the first gay president? Well, yeah. And he a gay cowboy carrying a 6 gun at his side, blowing things up with thermite, shooting in the river just because he can, and has over 200 fucking tigers. Um, that whole zoo and everything that they had, I'm not a big zoo person. I think it's mildly cruel. Not that I'm like a crazy animal rights activist or anything, because I'm not, but I'd much rather see animals in the wild than caged up. But I mean, they're already bred in captivity. That's another whole other thing. But anyway, his zoo already, man, just kind of like you could tell it's like something a kid would set up in their backyard, and he was a big ass kid with uh, a lot of money, but crazy show. You, I'm having trouble even trying to come up with things to talk about because it's all just so out there. So much backstabbing. Who would have thought that the world of and I guess why wouldn't it be? Because any other business where money rolls in is cutthroat. So why wouldn't the world of big cat cubs be cutthroat as well. Man, people talking about euthanizing them and selling them over the border faster than somebody else can. I was surprised though that you could buy a tiger cub for $5,000. That seems awful low to me. Because I mean I've seen like one of those Savannah cats. I saw one of those for like $2,700. Um, and I would assume those are far easier to get than a tiger. But yeah, so I was pretty shocked. But maybe the mortality rate is pretty high when you try to raise a baby tiger. I don't know. But I will tell you this much: Carol killed her husband. She fed him to the tigers, and it is so creepy when she's sitting there talking about sardine oil. After the scene where the cat is sitting there entranced with Joe's shoe and knocks him over trying to get his shoe off or whatever, and Carol's like, if you want a tiger to eat somebody, you got to put something that they'd like on it, like sardine oil. And I'm like, oh, like you did to your fucking husband when you fed him to your tigers? Craziness. I know this first episode has been very disjointed, and I apologize for that. Maybe I don't. Maybe everyone will be like this. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just doing this to try and appease some of my stir craziness too. You know, it hasn't been easy. Let me touch on that for just a second, and then I'll wrap this first one up. When this all first hit, you know, I was like, live out in the middle of nowhere. This is gonna be easy to isolate. Play video games and play board games with my son and you know, watch TV. This dream come true. And it was for about like 4 days. And then, you know, the restlessness sets in. And I know everyone, a ton of you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're all in this together. Hopefully. And a couple people I've talked to, I've equated it to, you know, going out and being around people. It's like you have the big ass red button that says "Do not push." So you know, I want to push that button and find out. But an old fat ass like me, I don't really want to risk that anyway. But man, it's just I don't really enjoy people that much. But I find if I'm not around them, I start going stir crazy. Probably the reason I go to Walmart so much. But anyway, thank God that this generation is so in love with their screens. I think that's been my son's saving grace. He's taken it pretty good. Of course, he misses his friends. He's 13. But their group is so focused on screens anyway that he's like, oh, I never wanted to go outside in the first place. Only went outside when you forced me to, Dad. So, and everybody else, I mean, it's been, there are moments of extreme boredom and just kind of like, but overall it has been, I mean, it's hard to believe that 16 days have gone by. It's been a pretty easy 16 overall considered. So, I'd like to take a moment to and thank some essential people that I haven't really seen getting any props. Anyone who's working in the field with developmentally disabled people, thank you for what you're doing. They are just like everybody else. They got to go to work. They got to do their caregiving jobs. They're putting it on the line just like everybody else for a job that doesn't pay nearly enough. So thank you for going out there and doing your thing. We all know the clients, you know, they need somebody right now. So that's cool. All the other essential workers, thanks for what you're doing. And everybody at home, if you don't have to go anywhere, and I know we've all heard it a million fucking times, but if you don't need to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. Stay home. Chill out. I don't know. We're all in this together, so good luck. Stay safe. Be safe. And I will catch you guys later. Take it easy.